Grading is hard. I have about 50 students, and when they submit their essay assignments, I start off with gentle and generous comments, but these issues are being repeated. So, towards the end of my grading, my patience level is not the where it should be. So I want to remove my emotions and deliver consistent feedback and quality and personalized feedback for my students. The challenging thing is that it just takes too much time. And the sad thing is that the students don't read the feedback, and if they do, they take it the wrong way. Today, I have Corne from Seneca Tech with us today, and he created a tool that would save us so much time by creating a first draft of the feedback on those essay assignments. Welcome, Corne.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So I saw Seneca Tech on how it automatically grades the first draft of the essays. So what prompted you to create this tool?
I think where it first came from was a passion for education. It was growing up in South Africa. You saw the impact that education can have. So me and two of my co-founders, we were building within the education space for a while. One thing I really hated at university was a red pen over my paper saying, good job, or, some sort of small comment that didn't really inform me about what I should do. So it came really from a empathy for the students and where we could make an impact that they could receive more feedback. Large language models came along. We saw this is an amazing opportunity. We started testing it out, and we've just been developing from there.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's sometimes what I do. I'm guilty of that. I don't want to if it's a good essay, I don't want to just leave no comment. I say, good job, a great essay. I like your key points and so forth. I try to keep it short because if I try to go a little bit deeper, then it just takes a lot of time. Okay, is this the right nuance? Do they really get it? And on the canvas itself, it doesn't really have a good way to annotate which part was good and how I can change that. So I don't have a good way. So I ended up having the students sign up for my office hours so that's the time when I can give more detailed feedback and try to do that in person. But I'm really excited how this AI tool can automate a lot of that process. So who would this be for? What kind of professors would be most benefiting from this tool?
Specifically, in a more general sense, I would say all professors that want to assess more regularly but don't have the ability to do all that grading. They don't have the ability to take on that grading load, but they do want to assess more regularly. And you do want to assess more regularly so that the student knows where they are. A student can't know where they are going if they don't know where they are at the moment. And it becomes a snowball effect of, they were struggling with part one of the work, you at part 10, and they don't have the fundamentals down. On a more technical level, it's mostly for qualitative work. At the moment, we're really focused on writing, English, business, so forth. We did recently grade statistics for the first time, which was really interesting because it had the ability to do the sum with a mistake. Take a mistake that happened in step one all the way through and still award the student the necessary marks. And that can be a very tedious process for the quantitative professors.
Wow, this will really help students understand not just the fact that the student got it right or wrong in terms of math courses, but also where they got wrong and have their submissions graded accordingly. That's great. Corne, can you show us how it works?
Yeah, I can share my screen and just show you what the grading looks like. Great. So here I've already submitted an attempt. I created an assignment here at the top right corner. I could upload any material, insert the question number, question and rubric. I can also upload anything like a textbook, for example, that might not be in the model's current background knowledge. So basically, think of this as a virtual teaching assistant. When you would ask your teaching assistant to grade specific work, you might ask them to first read a certain part of the material. You would think of this in a similar way. Secondly, your teaching assistant would need to know whose work it's grading. You can just submit attempts. You can allow them to submit their own attempts, or you can submit their attempts for them. Or the most popular, you can just pull it from your LMS. So over here,
That's great. I love that part because I necessarily don't like how Canvas accepts assignments, but this could replace how the students are submitting the assignments. Is that true?
yes, no, for sure. We do have this ability for the tool to for the student to actually submit their work and then receive feedback, go in and improve their attempt, and then submit again.
Hmm.
So by the time you get the final submission, they've actually went through a few feedback prompts.
That's great.
So I'll just show what the professor view looks like
Mhm.
right now. So I would see my student attempt here on the left-hand side. I could select which student I'm looking at, which question I'm looking at. For now, I'm just going to be looking at question 1. I can click grade. As soon as I click grade, you can see it automatically splits up the different criteria within the rubric, such as the identification of major political factors for 3 marks, discussion of economic factors for 3 marks, and the detailed examples and explanation for 4 marks. So it automatically knows to separate these tasks and grade them individually. I can immediately see the student didn't struggle with this specific criteria. The student received 3 out of 3. Kind of not there yet, but 2 out of 3 and 3 out of 4. So I immediately have this feedback of where the student is at just by looking at the icons. We can go and read through one of these. So for the discussion of economic factors, including the Great Depression and its global impact, it also splits up within that discussion of economics. So the discussion, the examples provided, and the global impact mentioned. As you can see, it's very, very elaborate, way more than a person would usually be. And that's how it improves its accuracy. Once I'm happy and I want to change, once I'm happy, I can just say upvote, I agree with this mark. It's then been saved as an ideal response. So now you're working back and forth with your virtual teaching assistant, and it learns as you are grading. Or maybe I want to change the mark. This was too lenient. I don't agree. Let's grade this more strictly. It will then go take the exact same grading it did previously and try to adjust it for more strict justification. So as you can see, the student now received 2 out of 3 instead of the previous 3 out of 3 with still a very elaborate justification for that new mark band.
That's great. So I would see the first draft generated by Seneca Tech, and
Yes,
then if I don't like it, so the reason why I probably don't like it is probably too lenient or too strict. So there are these icons where I can make it more stricter or
yes,
more lenient.
and
That's
more
an
lenient,
awesome feature.
and it learns as you are grading. And
Mhm.
once I'm ready and it's really picked up what my expectations are, I can just go and click grade all. But here I could also add some more relevant context. So let's say detailed examples. I can then say, this is an example, this is an example, this is an example, add that to the instructions, and it would also go and regrade.
Mhm.
So if you don't get the general idea yet, it's really about working back and forth with this AI. It's not about, here's the AI, it's going to do all your grading. It's more about you work with this AI to find exactly, what is your expectations as the person providing the marks to the student. And it just helps you as an assistant to write those justifications and provide feedback. This is just for the grading decisions. We also have feedback over here. So I can look at this feedback. It has acknowledgements of what the student did well, identify what they struggled with, specific corrective guidance, and some general improvement suggestions. I can then adjust this. So let's say I want the tone to be more aligned with be positive first and then negative, or discuss only the weaknesses, whatever my tone sounds like, and then just hit save, and that will update the grading for all assessments. So again, it's learning as it's learning as you work with it.
Mhm.
And then I can also view the student's full assessment. I can generate feedback over the entire assessment. I can generate some instructor suggestions which informs me as a professor what I can do to help the student. So the student might come to me, like you said earlier, with the office hours, and you can then just easily generate some suggestions that you can use as talking points when they come to discuss with you. So let's take an example of it. The scope of political factors. The student identified key political factors, the rise of Hitler, the policy of appeasement. However, the analysis was limited in scope, omitting other significant political influences. This limited breadth reduced the comprehensiveness needed for higher marking. So you can discuss this with the students and the examples used and so forth. You can also generate a revision assignment. Yeah.
That's great. How is this integrated with the LMS? Do I need to copy and paste all of this into my LMS to give students feedback? How is it integrated?
I should have actually prepared that as well. But how it would work is it would just link with your account in the LMS. Let's say, for example, your Moodle account. It would know which assignments are associated with your user ID, and it would just populate that. So you can just select that assignment and it would automatically pull through to our system. When you're pulling student attempts, it would also know which students are associated with that course and that assignment, and then also just automatically pull that through. Once I'm finished grading, I can push that back to the same student. So it's a complete closed loop. Even though you're doing all the grading on our system, it has a complete closed loop from pulling the assessment, pulling the student's attempts, and pushing all of that back.
So both the grades and the feedback go back to the student through Canvas?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's great. How much is it roughly?
So it's about 50 cents for a longer essay per student. So that would equate to almost around $1 for about a 30-student classroom.
Fantastic. That's very affordable. Thinking about the time that I need to spend giving this level of detailed feedback, that's great. At IPA, what we do is we seek solutions and we try new things and we share with others. So those are the three things that we do. So how can IPAs get in touch with you and try this out on their own?
They can go onto our website. It's SenecaTech.ventures, like the philosopher. They can just click through to go use a product. Alternatively, they can go onto our book a demo page, our Calendly link, just insert IPA, and we'll be sure to add some credits once they start using the platform.
Fantastic. So they type in IPA on the comment section when you're booking the demo, and you get the credits.
Exactly. And if they just want to go directly onto the platform, we'll also reach out to how did you find us? And they can also just say IPA.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Corne. This is going to help me so much time in grading the essays, and I really do hope that this saves all the IPAs, save their time in grading, not just reducing the time, but also giving high quality feedback to the students. And that's what's most meaningful. So thank you so much for coming to IPA today, and
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
later.
much. Appreciate it.